The Naruto franchise could come in many different shapes and sizes. There's a popular and well-known manga and anime, but there's also OVAs, spin-offs, video games, and even Boruto. But for today's video, I came up with the bright idea to watch all 10 of the Naruto movies and rank them from worst to best. And yes, I said 10. This video will not be including the Boruto movie because everybody knows that the Momoshiki fight was way better in the anime. However, since I spent the past 3 days of my life withering away watching these movies, I'll also be giving my 2 cents on why the movie ranks where it does. I should also mention that this video is 100% opinionated, and obviously there's no definitive list, but I figured I might as well just mention it, as well as spoilers for every single one of these movies if it wasn't clear already. But if you have some thoughts on my list, let me know down in the comments and drop a like if you enjoyed these types of videos. Anyway, enough with the yapping. Let's just get into it. Starting with our 10th and worst Naruto movie in my eyes, The Legend of the Stone of Galil, or Galil. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. This movie is the second one to come out, and my reasoning for having it at the number 10 spot is due to the sheer boredom I got from watching it. Now, I'm not saying that this movie didn't have some entertaining moments throughout it, but considering that about halfway through it, it already felt like I had already watched 2 movies, that should tell you enough why it's at 10. The plot is also a bit different from the rest of the Naruto movies, as although still having unexpected run-ins with royalty and using a different variation of the Rasengan, it just felt a little off after watching every other Naruto movie. Not to mention the antagonist being quite the bore and unmemorable. Like, I don't even remember this guy's name, and I can't even bother looking it up for the sake of this video. But of course, there had to be an ugly duckling, and the Legend of the Stone of Galil just happened to be that. The number 9 spot sadly goes to the Will of Fire. And the reason I say sadly is because there's actually some pretty cool moments that I like that happened throughout it.
I know what kind of man you are.
The plot of this movie has to do with Kakashi sacrificing himself for the sake of the village, and Naruto of course trying to prevent that from happening. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Honestly, this movie, along with the next couple that I talk about, can all be interchanged with each other. But due to the antagonist being kinda this movie is at 9. Seeing Naruto slam dunk a Rasen Shuriken into him though, felt pretty nice. On to the next one, and that is our number 8 spot, which is the original Naruto Shippuden movie. The first of many escort missions that are related to these movies. The intro shows Naruto dying as it's revealed that it was a premonition from the heroine and priestess who would be getting escorted to help provide and saving the world. Yeah, the world damn near ends in all these movies as well, even the canon ones.
Man, goddamn.
That being said, this is only the first of quite a few Naruto movies where he makes the main heroine fall for him, and you'll see what I mean as this list goes on, trust me. All in all, there were some pretty cool Rock Lee moments, another filler Rasengan, and an ending where Naruto is asked to fornicate with the princess. What more is there to say? At our lucky number 7 spot, we have Bonds. I have mixed emotions about this movie, and that's because I thought it was really good, but at the same time, it's one of those scenarios where after sitting on it long enough, you begin to question if it was actually as good as you thought it was. Seeing Sasuke was pretty cool, considering that I watched all these movies in chronological order, and this was only the second movie he appeared in. And seeing both he and Naruto fight with one another before actually fighting with each other in the 4th grade ninja war was also pretty nice. The plot in this movie was fairly interesting as well, having involved the interesting filler village being the land of the sky, and a surprising plot twist with the Zero Tails being the final boss. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the antagonist of this movie was a non-existent tailed beast.
That don't make no sense.
And call it a stretch, but Naruto seems to pull another heroine in this movie as well. All around, it's pretty good. On to the number 6 spot, which is the very first Naruto movie to come out, and that is the Ninja Clash in the Land of Snow. Wow, I didn't even recognize that I put the only 2 movies that heavily involve Sasuke back to back. Anyway, even though this was the first Naruto movie to come out, I was fairly impressed with how into it I actually was. The animation in this movie is also nothing to scoff at, and considering that whenever this movie came out, I was probably still in diapers, I'd say that's pretty good.
He's out of line, but he's right.
This movie also has some moments from it that I've seen before I even knew was in this movie, like the iconic stank face Naruto gives, and the train scene that I find hilarious for some odd reason.
Run, bitch! Run!
The villains in this one were also a pinch better, as we see a history between Kakashi and the Snow Ninja. And how could I forget that this was the first of many princess-based Naruto movies, as well as a Naruto movie that introduced the first filler Rasengan, the Rainbow Rasengan. Coming in at our number 5 spot, we have The Lost Tower. I wish I could have put this movie higher, but the antagonist of this movie kinda ruins any chance of that happening. It takes Naruto 20 years in the past after getting teleported by this sorry-ass antagonist. But the real kicker of the situation is the fact that Naruto and Minato run into each other without even knowing that they're related in any way, even though they're literal carbon copies of each other. On the other hand, there's also another instance where Naruto makes the main heroine, who is the queen this time around, fall for him. Naruto in movies truly is that guy when it comes to pulling.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
This could be because the majority of the movie she was glued to his hip, but that was pretty much the only thing he could do the whole movie, and the ending was pretty nice if you enjoy the actual Naruto series. But then again, since it is a time travel movie, memories had to be erased. At number 4, we have Guardians of the Crescent Moon Kingdom, the Naruto movie where I believe contains some of the best drip we've seen the OG Naruto cast in.
He got that shit on though.
This is the last of the part 1 Naruto movies, and as you could tell, the one that I believe is the best. From the plot being pretty interesting and engaging, having a decent set of side characters, all the way to the animation being crisp as hell. It was genuinely a good time watching this one. On top of this, each designated fight that happens throughout this movie looks insane, and we even get to see Rock Lee whip out the nunchucks. Filler Lee is an absolute dog. I can't believe they did him so dirty in the actual series, but oh well. Also, seeing Naruto in his classic Ninetales form with the drip and clean ass animation was a chef's kiss. Anyway, from start to finish, this one was a banger, and if you're a Naruto fan and you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend it to you. And now that we're in our top 3, I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth because I mean they are in the top 3. At number 3, we have Roden Ninja, a movie that Netflix categorized as a Naruto isekai, and honestly, it makes a ton of sense. But if I had to personally describe this movie, I'd say it's more of a Naruto what if situation. The reason I like this movie so much is probably for the same reason anyone else would like this movie, and that is that it gives us an accurate representation of what it would have been like if Naruto was not only a villain, but also not an orphan. And there's a lot of people who think of what if scenarios about Naruto, so being able to see it actually happen in movie format was pretty dope. Not only this, we get to see opposite versions of side characters that appear throughout the series, which although it's kind of weird, was also kind of cool. Naruto's copy also being a villain while working alongside, at the time in the series, the main villain of the actual Naruto series was pretty interesting for the plot as well. It's crazy because before Naruto got an orange glowing Kurama, I thought he'd be fighting exactly how he was in this movie in canon. To also see the Akatsuki be on the good guy side was nice, considering that in canon this was their actual goal before, you know, this happened.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean,
the ending of this movie is also a real tearjerker as we see the bond between Iruka and Naruto grow. Shout out to Iruka for real. And coming in at our number 2 spot, we have Blood Prison. Now, is this because I think the Naruto Sage Mode cloak looks dope and I wish we would have got to see more of it throughout the series? Maybe. On a real note though, this movie is as high as it is because I feel like it's something different compared to all the other Naruto movies, but in a good way. To back up that statement, Naruto is thrown into a prison that's basically Ninja Alcatraz, and throughout it, he continuously tries to escape. And although some might say that the handicap in this movie takes away from the action, I actually like seeing situations where Naruto has to figure shit out without spamming shadow clones. This movie also contains, in my own personal opinion, the most hilarious moment in a Naruto movie ever, and that is when he asks a girl undercover as a man if she's a transvestite. No, seriously, play the clip.
You a transvestite?
I don't blame him though after that whole Haku situation though. He had us all fooled. And as I mentioned earlier, Naruto has to use Sage Mode to fight efficiently in this movie, which I absolutely love because we don't get to see enough of it in canon. However, at the end of this movie, Naruto literally dies and has to be brought back by the same girl that he thought was a transvestite, somehow finding a way to look like he pulled her.
another one.
All around, this one's a certified classic. And at our number 1 spot, this might not come as a surprise to anybody, but it's the last. The only canon Naruto movie, and a movie that was needed in order to tie a knot in Naruto and Hinata's relationship. And if I had to be honest, I've watched this movie multiple times for the simple fact that it's just a good movie. The way it starts out with Naruto realizing that he has feelings for Hinata, to Hinata seeming like she wasn't even going to end up with Naruto, was something that I never expected to happen when I first watched it. And when Shikamaru says the strongest person on earth can't save the world because of a broken heart, always cracks me up because it's true. And since this movie takes place after the 4th Great Ninja War, Otsutsuki's were the main threat, and it honestly made sense for Toneri to be the main villain. Crazy that he stole Naruto's girl for a minute though.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
But of course, by the end of this movie, Naruto and Hinata end up saving the world, but don't forget about Sasuke saving the leaf after making his only appearance for about 5 seconds. And as my ex-girlfriend might say, 5 seconds is nearly not enough. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my version of ranking every single Naruto movie from worst to best. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace.